Welcome back. Today we'll have a conversation about Niagara 26, a sailboat that has a special place in the hearts of some sailors. Maybe you can be one of those. We talk about the design, strengths, and vulnerabilities, some curious facts, and the kind of sailor who might find this boat to be the perfect fit. We also compare other designs of the same time period and discuss the best uses for this classic vessel. So, if you are curious about the boat, stay tuned. First, let's talk about the design of the Niagara 26. The boat was designed by George Hinterhoeller. He was one of the founding partners of the famous CNC yachts. It was built by Hinterhoeller Yachts in the late 70s, at least the first 6-9 units. After that, the production was licensed to 2 other manufacturing companies, specifically Goldman Boat Limited and the Hallman Manufacturing Company. I believe 170 boats were built in total. Hallman did some small internal tweaks in the design, but in the end it's the same boat with small changes. It is a performance cruiser, and that is what stands out about this boat. Hinterhoeller was able to balance the demands of a racing boat, keeping at the same time some of the comfort of a cruising vessel. The design is efficient, slick, and as the name says, it's under 26 feet. It's a kind of small boat. It's a cutter rig boat with a balanced sail plan, core deck, and solid fiberglass hull. I mean, the boat was built to last. What Hinterhoeller did was to add a fin keel and a spade rudder to the mix, create a bundle that provides excellent responsiveness in an easy-to-maneuver boat. The result? It's a boat that's a joy to handle and feels alive under sail. Still talking about the goods of the design. Most of those boats were designed with an outboard engine in mind, which keeps the maintenance in an easy side. I believe there were a few units delivered with a sail, drive, and inboard instead, but it made them a little bit slower. The outboard engine sits in a cut in the stern of the boat, the back of the boat, on a large lazarette, so you can cover it and protect while the boat is docked. For those who like specs, there's some for you. The Niagara is a fractional rig and has plenty of adjustments such as backstay, Cunningham, alt hull, fair leads, everything leads to the cockpit, and 4 halyards. There are 2 storage lockers for good size on the cockpit, a cabin with a table, small cooking area, sink, cooler, and a head, which is a toilet, with a privacy door. So, talking about privacy door, if you have a spouse, family, or friends spending some time with you on the boat, you will appreciate the perk of having an enclosed bathroom. The boat was originally delivered with hand-con sails. After that, some owners just install a roller furling, which I believe is a good idea. The rudder is connected to a tiller, and all the lines are rigged to the cockpit for easy control. However, like any sailboat, there is always something that's challenging in the design. One of the primary concerns in this boat is the light displacement, which means it's a light boat. It weighs around 4,000 pounds, something like 1,800 kilograms. While this makes the Niagara faster and more responsive, it can also make the boat a little bit more challenging to handle in heavier winds. This means that if you are a less experienced sailor like myself, you have to reef the mainsail earlier than any other heavier boat around you. The interior space is also limited, so it is expected in a boat of this size, but it could be a drawback for those looking for extended cruising and comfort only. And finally, there is no anchor roller in the bow of the boat, like in the front of the boat, so pull an anchor from the bottom requires some attention to avoid scratching the hull. Now, let's dig in some curiosities about the Niagara 26. One interesting one is the aspect that despite being designed in the late 70s, it was ahead of its time in many ways. Hinterhoeller used modern materials and focused on performance, setting apart from many other boats of that era. Many designers were focused on either speed or comfort, but rarely both things at the same time. Another curiosity is the boat's versatility. It's been used successfully for competitive club racing, weekend cruising, and even I think it's held up in some longer offshore passages. I was reading a book from John Kretschmer, and he wrote something about performance cruisers that I think could be applied to the Niagara 26. The point he made was that performance cruising is different than racing, even casual racing. The sails on cruisers are often not trimmed to perfection, for many reasons. Not because the cruisers don't like to do it or don't know to do it, but the variety is different in a cruising. So they have to spare time to cook. Sometimes there's a storm coming, so it's better to keep the boat with under canvas. Sometimes the opposite happens, as the boat's moving so good and so smooth. Cruisers don't want to be on deck all the time, tweaking sails, which can lead them as well to be caught in a squall with too much sail. This can happen specifically when the crew is short-handed, like a couple in a boat. The summary is that the boat has to be able to perform in all conditions, which brings us back to the Niagara 26 design, which is a performance cruiser built with quality. So, who is the target public for this specific design of boat? The Niagara 26 appeals to sailors who want a boat that's easy to handle, but still provides a thrill under sail. It's good for someone who might be stepping up from a smaller boat or day sailor and is looking for a boat that can be a bit of everything, like day sailing, weekend cruising, and club races. It's also great for sailors who appreciate the quality of older boats, but don't want to sacrifice in performance. Now, Niagara 26 are not alone in the market. Let's compare it with other boats around the same area. When you think about that, several come to my mind. I think it's Catalina's 27, GJ 24s, and maybe even the Pearson 26. Start with the Catalina 27, for instance. It offers more interior space and comfort, which makes it a better choice for couples who are looking to add comfort and cruising at the top of their list. The J24s, on the other hand, is a pure racer and is known for its speed and agility, but definitely lacks the comfort for cruising. So, what differentiates the Niagara 26 from the rest of those boats? Well, design strikes a balance between speed, agility, and comfort. To wrap up, what's the best use for a Niagara 26 today? Well, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're into racing, the Niagara is still competitive on club races and won design events as well. We have 7 here at the club, and they are usually on the top list of winners on evening races. If cruising is more what you're looking for, this boat is perfect for weekend getaways and just offer enough comfort and space for a couple or a small family. And for those who are just looking for a lovely day sailing, the Niagara 26 provides an excellent ride without the need for a large crew. To close the thought, just with a sentence, I will borrow a quote from a former Niagara owner here in the club. He told me once that the boat fits 6 people for drinks, 4 for dinner, and 2 for a comfortable night of sleep. That's all for today's episode of the Niagara 26. Whether you are a fan of classic sailboats, looking for your next project, or just love the history of sailing, I hope you found this episode useful. Please subscribe for more content, and don't forget to leave your comments if you want to learn more about the boat. Until then, fair winds and happy sailing!